Hello! I wanted to give an overall review for Gray Zone now that I have a good amount of time in the game, just for players that are either interested in the game, curious on whether or not they would like it, and taking a second to clear up some misconceptions on the game. Just as a note before I start running my mouth on this game, I do want to state this. I have been a game developer for 24 years. I have worked at multiple companies. In that time, worked in mostly art, but also design, UI, marketing, and a little UX. My opinions on this game are my own, based on about 110 hours in the game. So, with that, let's jump into it. What is Gray Zone Warfare? Overall, Gray Zone is a milsim FPS on PC. You use choppers to get to and from different AOs to accomplish different missions. You can play with friends or completely alone. Both are very viable, but it is more fun and much more survivable with friends. Some of the standard FPS tropes do apply to this game, but there is very limited UI, and the controls and character movement aspects are geared towards a more simulation experience. There is a map you can access at any time, but no minimap. This is not Call of Duty, and you should not be playing it like it is, or you will die a lot. Also, when you die, you have one shot to return to your body and retrieve your gear. This is also where having friends in there with you comes in handy. There is some discussion of what Gray Zone Warfare is based on, but it is very straightforward. You are meant to be a PMC operator, that's a private military corporation, operating in a made-up pseudo-Southeast Asian continent like, think, Philippines, South Korea, Polynesia, Laos, Cambodia, Vietnam, something of that nature, working to defeat indigenous military forces. The majority of the narrative and story is based off of Sean McFate's book, specifically The New Rules of War, which you can find as a prop in the game at your home base inside one of the buildings there. You can also find interviews between Sean McFate and the developers of this game on YouTube about working together to make this title. I don't know why or how there are so many Reddit posts trying to convince the world that this game was based on Roadside Picnic, but it couldn't be further from correct. There are no magical events, cultists, post-apocalyptic sub-narratives driving the story, or anything of that nature. Firearms in Gray Zone. First and foremost, this is a game. It is a fairly realistic game, but it's still a game. That is meant to be for a certain demographic, and if you try to force this game to be something it isn't, you will not be successful and probably hate it. There is no guarantee that if you like Escape from Tarkov, COD, or PUBG that you will like this game. There are only a few weapons in the game currently, and after a lot of experimentation, it really does come down to what you like to run with. We'll cover this in another video, but there is no real meta build, really. Mostly you will be sticking to an AR or AK platform for pretty much everything. I recommend not even carrying a pistol as backup until they fix them, which will hopefully be soon. Overall, I love the weapons and how they operate in the game. They are adding a ton of attachments and weapons in the coming updates, so I won't go too deep here. Medical in Gray Zone. I don't have a lot to say on the medical, other than I think it's one of the best systems I've seen in a game like this. It's not too cumbersome or convoluted, it is very easy to understand and allows some skill-based strategy in its employment. Even being knocked out in the game doesn't mean you're out of the fight. You may have the chance for a fellow player to come heal you up and get you back into the fight again. The missions in Gray Zone. Missions are accessed from your gear vendors. They send you off to do semi-complicated tasks in enemy-occupied regions, and in return they give you gear, weapons, money, and XP specific to them as a vendor. This means the more missions you do for a vendor, the more variation they will have in their specific shop. I'm not saying the newest items are better or worse, just new. PvP in Gray Zone. The current PvP system in Gray Zone needs some alterations. Right now it is mostly people camping the LZs and just trolls sniping people in mission locations. This is rife with opportunity for toxic players to preach their hate to the rest of the player base, making people leave the game. If it was me, I would change it so there is a large PvP area of the map or something with potential gear drops people can fight over with no AI involvement. This way you are not trying to jam two games into one location without violating both audiences at the same time. I play PvE pretty exclusively, and I have to say, the community in the PvE side of the game is fantastic. Everyone helps everyone, and the camaraderie between players is actually inspiring. Running into people in the game and working together with strangers has been awesome. Coming updates and what I would want to see. They have promised a lot for the coming updates. Some good, some not so great. They'll be instituting a wipe every 6 months, which I disagree with. Dumping a player's hard work only makes people not want to play. This game is not Tarkov, and wipes in Tarkov is why I stopped playing that game to begin with. So I don't know why that was a choice, but that's what their plan is. Aside from that, I'm looking forward to the day-night cycle. Night vision, more attachments, more weapons, and just more variation to the title. It's technically in early access right now, but they have done a phenomenal job making it more performant and making the AI not so crazy. They're also going to add in weapon degradation, failure to fire functions, and so forth to the game. Personally, I would love to see a few things changed or added. Number one for me is going to be slings and other weapon-based design affecting attachments. Slings should affect your weapon ready speed, accuracy, weight, and how the weapon is stowed. Second, clothes and personal kit items need to be more than cosmetic in function. Boots, gloves, shirts, jackets, pants, gear belts, tack rigs, body armor, eye protection, actually functional contacts should be in the game. This allows people more variation and personalization along with catering to their playstyle. I only really see positives for these items, so I assume they will likely do this in the future. One other change I would really like to see is better systems around using grenades. Currently the throw is a little weird. You only have one kind of overhand throw, and their behavior on detonation is extremely unpredictable. Lastly, change the choppers. Right now there can only be 4 AH-6 little birds on the map at once. This means you have to wait for one to be available in order to get to and from target locations and your home base, which I technically don't have a problem with. The problem comes with how slow these choppers get you to the far side of the map and fighting other players for requisitioning a ride to where you need to go and limited room on the chopper. If we added UH-60 Blackhawks, CH-47s, or CH-53s for further away locations for more people, you would know immediately upon seeing the vehicle that it is going further and will go much faster. I think it will also give opportunity to hold more people. I think breaking down the type of helo used by target destination would help alleviate some confusion, get you there faster, and again, allow more people to access the flight. Other than that, try the game out yourself and form your own opinion. If you are really unsure about it, watch people on YouTube or Twitch and see if it's for you. There are tons of resources out there for this game, and you can always find something that will answer any questions you have about it. I hope to see you out there and have fun.